Blue collar millionaire, blue collar grind, millionaire mind. We're here with another blue collar millionaire news report. Former President Donald J. Trump and billionaire has been raided by the FBI at his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. And so we're going to get into some of the political implications here and some of the financial implications, because you know we like to talk money. Before we get into that, if this is your first time on the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, and share your comments down below so we can get into a discussion on this. The first article that we're going to start with here is CNN Politics, and let's jump right on into it. The FBI executes a search warrant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago in the document investigation. So his estate in Florida, the FBI done raided your boy, Donald J. The FBI executed a search warrant Monday at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, as part of an investigation into the handling of potential documents, including classified documents that may have been brought there. Trump said they broke into his safe, and his beautiful home was under siege, raided, and occupied by groups of FBI or by a group of FBI agents. The extraordinary move to search the home of a former president raises the stakes for the Justice Department. It comes as Trump's legal problems continue on multiple fronts. Now, Trump is also expected in the coming months to announce he will launch another bid for the White House in 2024. Now, let's focus on these legal problems that continue for Trump on multiple fronts. Has Trump been indicted? Has Trump been prosecuted and convicted? And they've been going after Trump for, what, 6 years now? Since he's been the president? Probably since he was running for president. So after 6 years, what has been produced to criminalize this man, put him behind bars, put him on probation, anything, any legal ramifications that have brought Trump down? No, not a damn thing. They've been attacking this man for 6 years. The radical left has been trying to get this man caught up on something criminal, and they have yet to produce a motherfucking thing. So the whole Russian collusion left-wing conspiracy, and I can call it a conspiracy theory. I can call it a conspiracy theory because it didn't produce shit. You had an investigation and a report, and yet Trump was not convicted of a damn thing. So all that shit has been smoke and mirrors this whole time. These niggas been lying at their ass. They haven't been producing any substantial evidence that would criminalize President Trump. Amazing that they still continue. They've also been trying to get him for January 6th, for insurrection, and all such things. But January 6th was not the violent insurrection that they make it out to be. An insurrection would have had to been attempted overthrow of the government. That's not what we saw. We saw some people protesting the election results because they felt like the results were fraudulent. They felt like they were being defrauded out of the rightfully voted in president of the United States. They did not believe that Biden actually got voted in. They believed that there was some shiesty shit going on with the vote counting. And so as Americans, they have the right to protest. They kicked their feet up at the Capitol. They took some selfies, shit like that. And but the lives, and now there was a life lost, but the lives of government officials were not in jeopardy. And that's the type of level of violence that would have been necessary for it to be categorized as an insurrection. Somebody's life as a government official would have to have been threatened, or people would have been held hostage or something like that in the attempted overthrow of the government. But there was no attempted overthrow. They were essentially protesting because they felt that the election results were fake. Which, it's amazing that January 6th is considered to be this huge negative event for the democracy of the United States. And yet I seem to recall that when Trump got voted in as president, that the left felt like the election results were fraudulent, and they went on a 4-year campaign insisting that they were fraudulent and there was collusion by Trump with Russia to get Trump placed in as president, thereby making it basically illegitimate that he was the president. So it's amazing that when the right does the same thing, albeit using different means, but they essentially challenge the results of the election, all of a sudden it's like violent and it's just wild conspiracies and shit like that. Them niggas is fucking the left. Y'all hypocritical as fuck. By the way, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Trump supporter. So you can erase and cross out every box that you want to put me in. I'm a libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, like my boy Eric July. So toss the boxes out the window. I can call it like I see it. I can criticize the right. I can criticize the left. Right now, I'm criticizing the left because the hypocrisy is on full fucking display. But so basically, they were looking for documents that they said that Trump took from the White House, and they're basically saying that, it's a criminal offense, the handling of classified presidential documents, the mishandling of them. So my question is, if it's summer 2022 and Trump left the White House in January 2021 and he left with these classified presidential documents, why did it take the FBI a year and a half to get a search warrant to come after him for the documents? Because if this were a thing and it were a big deal, which I assume it is because his home was raided by the fucking FBI, why did it take them a year and a fucking half to go after him or to get the search warrant approved to go after him? It seems like what's going to end up happening is everything they're doing is going to be trumped up charges. If they even bring any charges, it's probably all going to come to naught. So either this shit is bullshit or the FBI is extremely incompetent. I'm going to say both. I'm going to go with both in this case. The radical left has been going after Donald Trump for 6 years, the past 6 years. It started with the Russian collusion, conspiracy theories, continued on. They tried to get him impeached, blah, 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 blah. They tried to find all types of things that could be pinned on him as criminal activity, yet they have not been able to prosecute and convict him or indict him or whatever else they're seeking to have done. Thereby, to me, if it's 6 years later and you still on this shit, you don't have nothing. Because if you really had something, you would have took him down when he was running for president. Or if you really had something about the Russian collusion, then you would have took him down in the first year or so of him being the president. None of these things happened. And so I think the timing with this, because again, if this was like such a big deal, I don't understand why the FBI wouldn't have raided him last year. They not raiding him to midway through 2022, and we began the latter half of 2022. The timing just seems impeccable to try to disrupt his 2024 presidential campaign, which he probably gonna run. So with this legal problems on multiple fronts, seem like y'all trying to jam your boy up to make it difficult for him to run for president, because that's what they're most afraid of. And to be honest with you, obviously it would create difficulty to be dealing with what is multiple investigations and running for president in 2024, because obviously the campaign trail is going to start sometime next year in 2023. So all they doing is trying to make it difficult for him to do that. That's literally, to me, that's all that's happening here. And they're real shiesty. These people shiesty as fuck. But let's go into it a little bit further, because we got some other stories here. So we're going to drop off the Warren page. We're going to go into the DOJ probe here. And so McCarthy vows probe of DOJ over Mar-a-Lago raid. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said Monday the House would investigate the Department of Justice if Republicans took the majority. A lot of Republicans that's mad about this. Republicans are preparing a litany of probes into everything from Hunter Biden to the U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. McCarthy says that the DOJ has reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicization. I would have to agree. The way they like it, you have to look at the disparity between investigations into Trump, how they're treating Trump, versus how they've been treating Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, for at least the past 3 to 4 years. Probably more. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and say we'll say the past 2 to 3 years. How about that? And the Democrats have been calling that a conspiracy theory the whole time, and now they just now starting to admit that it wasn't. But where was all this shit for Hunter Biden and Joe Biden that they got for Donald Trump? So it looks like McCarthy's serious. They talking about not leaving no stone unturned, examining all the documents. Trump said the raid was not necessary or appropriate. Prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and attack by radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024. And honestly, for me, that's what it comes down to. They're trying to create more legal problems for Trump to make it extremely difficult for him to run for president in 2024. And because that's what they're most afraid of. The people with the Trump derangement syndrome, they're going to lose their fucking shit. Even if he just runs, let alone like actually win. But the search warrant requires evidence of a crime at the federal level. And the target, I believe, was 15 boxes of classified documents allegedly taken from the White House mishandling of classified documents. And the fact that they're investigating former President Trump after 4 years of accusations of Russian collusion and other things that all provided nothing credible to convict Trump of a crime. So does Trump have the right to push back with litigation against a federal agency if nothing of substance is found or proven in this investigation? I think that's the question. When you're dealing with a fucking piece of shit government, where are your rights to push back if you are found innocent? Because the thing about it is, the ramifications of what they're doing are going to have an immediate and lasting impact, not just on his presidential run for 2024, but also on his business. What is the effect? Let's talk money. What is the effect on his business empire, on the luxury portfolio of real estate that Trump owns and manages? Well, what type of new money and investors and customers, how's it going to affect all those groups of people when he's under a federal investigation by the FBI? Let's assume for a second that he's innocent, right? Because In the United States, you're innocent until proven guilty, even though we can tell in the court of public opinion and the way things get weighed and presented that that's not the actual reality. It's not like that anymore. You can be condemned and convicted in the public before you even come to trial. But let's assume that he's innocent like it's supposed to be in the justice system until proven guilty. Well, if he ends up being innocent in the end, it still doesn't stop him from losing business from here to there. So he could lose customers. He could lose investors into new real estate projects. And there could be projects that don't happen as a result of the negative fallout from this investigation, because people, businessmen, may not feel that they want to put money into a person or a company or an empire that might lose a court case, or he might lose some of his assets or some of his properties or something. They don't want to get caught up with that. And also the negative stigma that comes with associating yourself with somebody who's under a federal investigation. And then, of course, there's the political effect on the 2024 campaign. And I think he's still going to run regardless of what happens with the FBI investigation. I think this is probably going to cause his base to rally more, of which I am not a part, because I am not a Trump supporter. I'm trying to look at this objectively from somebody who isn't going to vote for a Republican or a Democrat. I'm just looking at it based off what's actually happening, and the fact that I see them attacking him, and nobody's saying that Trump I'm not trying to characterize Trump as the greatest person ever or the greatest president ever or somebody who's completely faultless. All I'm saying is, in this situation, clearly he's the one being attacked, and I don't think it's rightfully so. And they have motives which to me are evil motives. They're trying to stop him from becoming the president again because they fear it so much, but yet they don't have the evidence to actually take him down. But they're going to use dirty tactics to slow him down as much as they possibly can. But this could affect the 2024 campaign. I mean, what about campaign donors? Talking money again. What about campaign donors that may not want to put money into his presidential campaign because they may feel this may hurt his image or his brand or the campaign enough that he may not be able to win, so they don't want to throw money towards something that's going to be ultimately unsuccessful, right? That is a definite type of financial impact or outcome that could happen from this, which could have an effect on him actually becoming president or not. But going back to his business empire and his money, this negatively impacts his brand name. You know, Trump makes money off the brand name of Trump. So this type of attack on his name is not good for business. So I really think this plot is a very dishonest plot. From everything we've seen thus far, the Democrats really don't have anything to stick. They don't have anything criminal to stick on Trump. They've been trying to stick something for 6 years and have been unsuccessful. So in a last-ditch effort to try to prevent him from becoming president, they're going to tie him up in this ongoing investigation, hoping that will derail his presidential campaign. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, see if there's anything else worth dealing with here. So the Democrats defended the raid as justified and praised the Justice Department for taking what many of them view as long overdue action. Of course they did. Of course they did, because they've been feeling that since Trump became president, they felt like he's a criminal because they felt like he shouldn't have won. So long overdue action is like, you need to criminalize him, even if he's not actually a criminal. Oh man, these people, bruh. So we got one more article we're gonna jump into. Um, it's the how it could affect his presidential run. Give me 1 second to click on the right one. There we go. Now I'm in there. How the FBI search in Mar-a-Lago could influence another Trump run for president, which I think really, that's why I say this one for last. I think this is really the end goal, because after 6 years they couldn't fucking get him locked up, get him convicted, indicted, prosecuted, whatever. So it's like, well, shit, fuck it. Like, he's still a free man. Nothing has worked. Let's just fucking derail the next presidential campaign because we really don't want him back in office. Escalating legal woes fit a narrative Trump has spun since he announced his candidacy in 2015 that he's an outsider whose populist appeal threatens the political establishment. I mean, all things would point to that seeming like the case on the stage, the world stage, or I'll say the stage play that is American politics. Donald Trump is giving every signal that he's running for president in 2024. The FBI search of his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida on Monday may only harden his resolve to jump in the race. I think so, and possibly speed up the timetable. Yeah, pissed him off. As an active candidate, Trump could be in a stronger position to argue that the federal investigation amounts to a politically motivated attempt to damage him in a potential showdown with President Biden. Obviously, that's exactly what it is. Like, come on, they're trying to drag his name down any way they can. They're terrified he's going to announce any day that he's running for president in 2024. And it's a very convenient way, Laura Trump, president's daughter-in-law, very convenient way to just throw a little more mud on Donald Trump as though they haven't already enough. Yeah. Yep. Trump called it third world tactics meant to undermine his political candidacy. Yep. I tend to agree with that. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that Trump has a realistic chance of winning president? Do you think this is going to derail his run? Do you think the Democrats are dirty, shiesty niggas for what they're attempting to do because they can't actually convict him of a crime? So they're going to put him in a position to defend himself against a potential crime like they have been doing. They've been putting him in a position to defend himself against a potential crime, and it always comes up with nothing. Let me know what y'all think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Blue collar millionaire, blue collar grind, millionaire mind. We out.